All right, so good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Business Transformation Masterclass. I'm your host and host Atul. Today, the topic is 7 tips to identify and attract your real audience. So, a couple of days back, when I asked what are the topics on which we should be talking about, this was one of the topics which came up, that how do we identify and attract our target audience? And I thought this is a very relevant topic and I took it up. So I've tried to put together things and let's see how this unfolds. So are you excited? If you're
Very,
excited, show me some news, something either in chat box or otherwise. Yeah, please. Haji, Khurana Sahab.
very much excited.
Thank you. All right. So what we're going to do is we'll start with the changing business landscape. So you must be wondering, why do I talk about changing business landscape in every session? Well, this is something which really has to get into our skin. Things are changing and we need to alter the way we conduct business. Then we'll be talking about identify and attract real audience. And what next? As human beings, we are futuristic. We're all about where are we headed. So that is why what next. All right. So coming to changing business landscape. Over the years, business has changed. We've come from the brick and mortar world to the digital world to the always connected world, wherein things we used to own earlier have started becoming services. Our cars have become services courtesy Ola and Uber. Our currency has become a service courtesy Paytms and GPays of the world. Our kitchens are diminishing. I won't say they're vanishing, but they're diminishing courtesy Zomatos and Swiggies of the world. And all this is made possible by a very reliable internet, which is becoming more and more powerful every day. So obviously, if so much is changing, there is a lot which is changing within the business as well. The manner in which we conduct business, the business models, and a lot more has been changing. Some of the changes which are very visible in 2023 in the last 8 months are these terms: artificial intelligence, machine learning, augmented reality, virtual reality, metaverse, Internet of Things, blockchain. These were terms which were very much in use inside the laboratories, inside the IT firms, but they were not a commonplace language. This is what has altered in the past 6 to 8 months. And this is going to get more enhanced as we go further. All right. Okay. So what has changed? The first piece, the speed of business has changed. At the turn of the century, we were doing business at a snail's pace. We still used to send letters to conduct business. Today, we don't even send emails. We send an instant message through WhatsApp or otherwise, and we expect immediate responses. So artificial intelligence, big data are a result of that. In the past 20, 25 years, the amount of data that has been collected, we can't even talk about it. Phenomenal amount. And what does that do? That has helped to change the man-machine interface. We are talking about advanced manufacturing and robotics. Our factories, our mills, they are getting automated like nobody's business. The reliability is increasing by the minute. We are in real sense a data-driven economy today. Because of the data which is available, we're able to do reliable analytics. We're able to not only models, it's predictive analysis also. We can predict what is the kind of future going to be. Blockchain helps us to document various transactions which are happening. Cybersecurity is becoming even more important and more complex as we're going further. The impact of all this is there is no cover up because data speaks in black and white. Technology is the backbone, and it is appropriate to say internet is the karmbhumi. It is time to transform or perish because old ways don't work anymore. It's time to unlearn your ABC. The ABC that we started learning way back in the kindergarten was something like this. A used to mean apple, B was ball, C for cat, and the likes. And as things have started changing, even ABC has changed. A is artificial intelligence. B is blockchain. C is climate change. D is data, big data and cloud. E is ESG, environment and social governance. F stands for fintech and Facebook. G is for gaming and Google. H for hashtag. I for IoT, Internet of Things, and Instagram. J is for Java and Geo. K is for Kindle. L is for LGBTQIA++ and LinkedIn. And we can continue like this up to Z many times around. And we will have many terms which have shown up recently. And what else is changing? If you look at the manner in which businesses collapse, why do they collapse? One of the major reasons is that the marketing has gone wrong or the marketing is not done properly. 56% of the businesses they collapse because they don't market themselves well. 18% of them they collapse because of team or HR issues. And it's only 16% who die because of finance or financial issues. And 10% are for different other reasons, which could be operations, technology, or for legal. And what I know is I know marketing. And I invite you to look at how you can get your marketing right. Like all the previous master classes and the next one as well, we are focusing on that piece. So it's time to transform or perish. Today, platforms have dukandars for breakfast. That means mom and pop stores are going belly up because there is a platform around which is doing something, whether it is Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, or Google. There are new business models which are showing up. Blinkit was not there 3 years back, 4 years back. Geo in the past 8 to 10 years has changed the world. UPI, Policy Bazaar. So it's appropriate to say कि धंधा और बंदा बदल गए हैं. Business and people have changed. So we've got the market has changed. We've got to change the message that we send out. We've got to change the mediums that we use. Badlo ya chal do. So transform or perish. That is where we are today. And if you really believe in what I've just said, please write in the chat box TOP, which stands for transform or perish. Let me see how many of you are aligned with this. I'm asking you. Yes, okay, 2. Who else? 3. All right. So here's a little bit about me. I'm Atul. This is what I look like. I've spent around 20 years in the corporate space. And I've been fortunate enough to have worked only with the numero unos of the industry. Whether it was CDEC or HID or SIFI or United Technologies, all of them were number one players in their segments. And this is something what I want to share with you, how and why you should be number one in your space. So sometime in 2014, I thought that I wanted to contribute to the small businesses. And that is when eGrowth was conceived. Ever since I've been building eGrowth one person at a time, one day at a time. Along the journey, I've picked up some awards. I became an engineer in the last century, and then I added a master's to my qualification. I also did a program in competitive marketing strategy from IIM Bangalore. Right now, I'm on the advisory board of MSME Bharat Manch. I'm also the chapter director for Startup Grind Gurgaon, which is the largest startup ecosystem in the world. I'm also a charter member with TIE Delhi NCR, and I am a published author of two books, Golf Mastering Business Success and Opportunity the Journey from U to Yes. During this period, I've traveled around 80,000 kilometers across the country to get a pulse of how you conduct business. More than 10,000 participants have been there in my master classes, and 1,500 plus people have participated in my programs in person, and 100 plus of them have participated in blueprints and boot camps that I've conducted. And I've been a part of the implementation journey of 20 plus entrepreneurs. This is a little bit about me. And this is something which gives me happiness. That's why I do it. So, coming to the topic of the day, 7 tips to identify and attract your real audience. Ab aayega maza. So, are you excited? Let me hear it in the chat box. How you share your excitement.
Sir, this is the lifeline of any business. We are very, very excited.
Thank you. Your excitement keeps me going. All right. So, first and foremost, what are the concerns related to the real audience? What do we mean by the real audience? You can please unmute and share what do you mean by the real audience?
जहाँ से बिजनेस और पैसा दोनों आएगा.
Perfect. जहां से बिजनेस और पैसा दोनों आए. Who else?
Like real audience means who's using that product.
Perfect. So somebody who's consuming it, जो हमें पैसा देता है और जिससे हमें धंधा मिलता है. What else?
इससे बढ़िया डेफिनेशन तो अतुल पुरी जी दे सकते हैं.
नहीं सर, बढ़िया तो हम सब दे सकते हैं. सब देख मिलाएंगे तभी बढ़िया बनेगा जी.
Yes, that's right.
Right? That's what we're here for.
Yes, it is collaborative effort.
Absolutely. So where do we find them? Real audience कहां मिलता है हमें? I'll be sharing my perspective in the next couple of slides. But आप share करें, where do you find your real audience?
जिसके दो पैर हो वो रियल ऑडियंस है.
Perfect. जिसके दो पैर हो वो रियल ऑडियंस है. सांस लेता हो कि ना लेता हो?
वो जरूर लेता होता.
बिकॉज इजिप्ट में काफी ममीज होंगी जिनके दो पांव हैं लेकिन वो सांस नहीं लेते आज की डेट में.
Yes, yes, you are right.
Having said that, there are 8 billion people on this planet. Or these 8 billion people are not your real audience. Your real audience is a subset of that 8 million people, 8 billion people, sorry. अब वो सबसेट कौन सा है वो आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है. मेक सेंस? हम उन्हें वेयर डू वी फाइंड देम? एज ऑफ नाउ वी फाइंड देम ऑन अर्थ, unless we start establishing colonies in on moon and on Mars as well. सही है? और बताएं. So how do we identify them and how do we attract them? Yeah, please. हाँ जी संदीप.
हाँ, जैसे मैं अभी एक जगह सर्विस कर रहा हूँ. वी आर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स ऑफ ऑडियो इक्विपमेंट्स
हाँ जी,
तो हम व्हेन वी गो टू सर्च, तो हम जहाँ सर्च करेंगे वो सबसे पहले तो होते हैं ऑडियो, जो ट्रेड शोज होते हैं, एक तो वहाँ,
ठीक है जी।
क्योंकि हम हाई एंड में डील करते हैं। तो अगर मैं गूगल में जाके सर्च करूँ, तो गूगल में बहुत सारे लोग हाई कहते हैं ऑडियो इक्विपमेंट से डील करते हैं, लेकिन उसमें से कितने हैं जो हाई एंड में जाके डील करते हैं। तो उस जगह जाने के लिए हमको फिर थोड़ा सा और लिंक्डइन या इस तरह की प्रोफाइल्स हमको वो करनी पड़ती है जो उसमें डील करता है। तो ऑडियंस तो कोई भी हो सकता है, लेकिन हमारे प्रोडक्ट में इंटरेस्टेड किसका बन सकता है, कौन उस इंडस्ट्री में काम कर रहा है, कौन उसमें है, तो हमको वो टेस्ट करना पड़ता है।
परफेक्ट। तो ये किसको पता है कि आपका रियल ऑडियंस कौन है?
हम ये आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं उसको एनालिसिस करके पूरा।
किया है आपने?
मैंने तो नहीं, सर ने तो जरूर किया है, हमारे सर ने।
ऑसम। तो ये जो सवाल मैंने अभी पूछा ना, किया है आपने, ये हम सब के लिए सही बैठता है।
जी।
सो नोइंग मेक्स नो डिफरेंस। हमें पता है कि जी कैसे करना है, लेकिन करने में दिक्कत है। राइट? तो
राइट।
आज हम इन्हीं चीजों, इन्हीं 4 सवालों के जवाब खोजने के लिए हम यहां पर हैं। और कोई सवाल है आपके जो आप आज आंसर करना चाहेंगे? What do you mean by real audience? Where do we find them? How do we identify them and how do we attract them? These are very broad questions. Any other questions around this?
Just how do we make them consume our product?
हाँ, तो आज का जो टॉपिक है उसमें हम कंजम्पशन पर नहीं पहुंचे, अभी तो हम सिर्फ अट्रैक्शन पर ही पहुंचे हैं।
ठीक है, बढ़िया।
ठीक है ना, वो लंबा हो जाएगा।
जी।
So who are our real audiences? So I think Ajish, you said this. They consume our products and services. They are our real audience. They are power users. वो भिन्न भिन्न प्रकार से इसको इस्तेमाल करते हैं. They use our products and services in different manners, which we have also not identified. I'll give you an example. So there was a washing machine company, and they realized that all of a sudden there is a spike in consumption in Ludhiana. And there was a particular customer who was buying number of machines regularly. They were wondering what is the scene. So the salesman, he went there to figure out कि जी वो मशीन का कर क्या रहे हैं. तो वॉशिंग मशीन की बात कर रहे हैं हम. तो वहां जाकर पता चला कि जी दे आर यूजिंग द वॉशिंग मशीन, क्योंकि पंजाब है, लोग लस्सी खूब पीते हैं और उतनी लस्सी मैनुअली बनाना थोड़ा सा कठिन है. So these guys, they are using the washing machine to churn the curd to make lassi out of it. So they are the power users. So with this, a new segment of users came up for that washing machine company. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They do stress testing. वो हमारे प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस को ऐसे इस्तेमाल करते हैं जैसे किसी ने इस्तेमाल नहीं किया. Do you know what it means to do stress testing?
If you give a toy to a small kid, then we'll know how they use it.
Absolutely. So you give a car and he will throw the car on the wall. And then you will say, dude, I bought it for 5,000 bucks. What are you doing? But then for him, the car is supposed to fly. It is supposed to hit and not break down. That's stress testing. our real users, they really do it. And they have real applications. So for this fellow who was making lassi, for him, this is a real application of the washing machine. It's not a washing machine, it's a lassi machine. Anything that you have to say about this? Does this give you some insights into where you are looking for your real users? Hello? Okay, so while you get your thoughts together, so the real audience believes in us. So do you know who are your consumers who really believe in you? They are sold on us. They have a two-way communication with us.
Could you please explain what do you mean by they are sold on us?
So like Ajish, how many of my master classes have you attended?
4.
Right? If I were to list down how many people have attended 4 or more, there would be a handful of those people, and you are one of them.
Yeah.
And why do you take time out to attend the masterclass?
Just to learn something.
Okay. So you can learn from anybody, right? You can learn it from Tony Robbins. You can learn it from so many big players out there. But somewhere you believe in me, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere you believe that what I'm sharing, that's valuable.
Yeah.
That's worth your time.
Yeah.
So if I were to put a value of, let us say, 10,000 rupees for 1 hour, in 4 classes, you've given me 6 hours of your life.
Yeah.
6 hours is 60,000 rupees. So somebody who's given 60,000 rupees, do you think he's not sold on me?
Yeah.
Thank you. They have two-way communication. What does two-way communication mean?
If there are any issues with the product, we'll get to know from the person who is using.
Right.
It's both way. Like now, we will think we have made a product for some functionality.
Yeah. So they come back to us with both acknowledgement as well as with bricks and bats. Yes. So like now, Khurana Sahab said, the best definition Atul Puri will give. So that was an acknowledgement, right? And how do the real audience communicate with us? They follow us on our social media channels. They write to us. They participate in our events. They meet us in person. They participate in our event. They pay for the events. They pay for the product. This is a two-way communication, isn't it? Hello? Yes, no, thank you.
Yes, please. Yeah.
They give references to us. And why would somebody give references to us?
Because they are sold on us.
Absolutely. They're satisfied with us. They know that we will not cheat that person. We will not. See, anybody, I am concerned about my own reputation. Isn't it? So I will not give reference of somebody who will probably reduce my reputation. who will give a substandard product or service. Make sense? Yes or no?
Yes, please. Yes.
Yes.
They show up whenever we call upon them. So if we send a message to them, that will not go unnoticed. They may not be satisfied with our product or services. Does that make sense? They may not be satisfied with our product or services, but they trust us. These are our real audiences. What do you have to say around this?
Because they know if we give the feedback, we will try to improve upon the product service.
Absolutely. I mean, they will not write us off because one product is not working as it is expected. It's like a bank balance, right? When we keep on creating a bank balance or putting in positive account into that account, even if something gets eroded, the balance will still be positive, it will not be negative. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
So real audiences are ones with whom we have a positive bank balance. Real audiences are the ones with whom we have positive bank balance. And I'm not talking about bank balance in terms of currency. I'm talking about they being able to bank on me. So in my life, I have bought cars from Maruti, from Fiat, from Hyundai. Okay. And I've been a repeat customer for Maruti. I'm not saying Maruti is a great company or they paid me for this. I'm just saying that for me, they are a bankable company. They are a reliable company. So I keep going back to them. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So your real audience keeps on giving signals to you that I am your real audience. So far anything, what I've shared, is this an eye opener? Is there something new which has come up? If yes, write in the chat box, new or eye opener. Thanks, Ajish. Taking it further, these are a set of profitable customers for me. So the first remark was they give us money and business. So they are profitable customers for us. They give us a loose rope. What that means is even if we goof up, they don't give up on us. But if we continuously keep on goofing up, then obviously they'll have to let go of us. But once in a while, if there is a glitch, they will be okay with it. These are the ones who keep on returning to us. These are the ones who give feedback to improve. These are the ones who give us ideas for new offerings. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So, anything else? Means, do you think this is what your real audience is like? See, the reason why I put it like this is something you will not get on Google. This is not published anywhere. I did not read any books. I'm sharing from my personal experience, having worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs, people, human beings. वो जो दो टांगों पर चलते हैं, सांस भी लेते हैं, right?
Mr. Puri, I have a silly question, but I know you will answer it appropriately.
आने दो सर, I'll be silly enough. Tell me.
जी सर, बहुत से लोग ऐसे हो सकते हैं जो those who are only consuming our product or service, but they are neither giving any references, nor giving any feedback, nor attending any of the events, but they are still regular customers. Don't we include them in our real audience?
Definitely we do, na? See, somebody who's consuming our product, he is our real audience. See, I'll tell you one thing. I go to a shop, to a mall, and I see a stall of American cookies over there.
Yeah.
Every time I go there, I will go and taste an American cookie. But I will never buy it. Am I their real audience?
So if you are not buying, but
Exactly.
if you are referring to someone else, still you are a propagator.
So there's a very little possibility that I'll refer them to somebody else because I have not bought it myself.
No, there may be. Kindly allow me to differ with you on this.
Please.
There may be certain reasons. Maybe it is the distance of the product. Maybe it is the taste of the product that I personally don't like, but others like. Maybe it is the budget involved. There are many reasons which force me not to buy the product, but I still feel that this is a good product for so many people. And
awesome.
if someone I feel is my friend and is the needs that kind of product, I'll certainly guide him or her to that product or that shop.
Awesome. So thank you. I really buy what you are saying. Having said that, anything else you want to share? Rana Sahab, anything else you want to add to this?
नहीं सर, मैंने तो कह दिया. अब आपके एक्सपर्ट कमेंट की जरूरत.
तो यहाँ पर the framework within which we are looking at real audience is to identify a large majority of real audience.
I agree.
Right? Because we are looking at that audience who will consume more of our products and services and who will add to more of it in future. So people like this who will taste it and refer me, there may be. So they will add to maybe 1 percentage point or maybe less than that of my total revenue.
Agree.
Right? Now, so putting my attention on them, that may be more costly than the returns I'm getting out of it.
Yes.
See, as a business owner, at any given time, I have to weigh the pros and cons. I have to weigh the investment and returns. That is why we talk about ROI, return on investment.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Point taken, sir. Point taken.
So here we are talking about that real audience who is reachable, who is willing to give us feedback and who is willing to stand by us.
Yes.
So there is something called as the Pareto principle, right? 80-20.
Yeah.
So we go after the 80%, rather we go after that 20% who are giving us 80% business.
Yeah. Perfect.
So I rest my case here. Right?
Thank you very, very much.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you. And thanks for, in your question, there is a lot more clarity which I have got. Next is how we grow.
This is how we grow. This is how we learn from each other.
Absolutely. So how do we identify them? So they are our repeat buyers. So as we just discussed, there may be people who are not our buyers. But then there the return of investment is not as good. Repeat buyers, our return on investment is good. They don't create troubles for us. They will not do bad publicity out there. If there is something, they've got a feedback, they will come and say in our ear. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
They ask questions. So Khurana Sahab, he knew the answer, yet he asked the question.
I was not very clear. You made it clear.
Fair enough. And they do not keep quiet. Right? If we are in a tight spot, they stand by us. So there was a time, I think 20-25 years back, Cadbury's chocolate had these insects or some kind of worms in it.
Around 10 years ago.
Yeah, long back.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, India did not write off Cadbury then. Cadbury, they took their actions around it. They changed the packaging altogether. It is only after that the vacuum sealed multi-layer packing came in. Before that, it used to come in a butter paper kind of a thing, which was open to air exposure, exposed to air. So at that point in time, people who were Cadbury, what should I say, in love with Cadbury, they did not write them off. They gave an opportunity. So they gave, so what did I say? Somewhere I said that they give them a loose rope. ठीक है, एक बार हो गया यार. But had Cadbury not taken an action, had Cadbury continued to goof up like that, then they would have thrown away Cadbury. Right?
This is some sort of loyalty benefit as well.
So who will be loyal?
Yeah. So the customers will trust you.
Loyal are our real audience, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So the first set of Tata Sumo, right? Yes, Tata Sumo. Tata Sumo, there were some instances where Tata Sumo broke into two pieces on the road. The first set. So here we are talking about a truck manufacturer who is new to small passenger vehicles. The vehicle breaks into two on the highway. The consumer did not write them off. And today Tata is competing with Hyundai and Maruti for the number 2 slot. Isn't it? Now, it's a two-way street. While the customer will show their loyalty, as a product company, we also have to take those additional steps to ensure that the customer is safe. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
Yep.
So the first set of Tata customers were not Maruti customers. They were their truck customers or buses customers. Gradually, they started getting customers from other segments also. The passenger car guys were not Tata customers. They wooed them later on. So how do we identify our real audience? First is we scan historical data. We have our order books. We have our invoices. So we go through those data. Who are the ones who buy regularly from us? How much do they buy? How often do they buy? Are we able to see any patterns over there? These are our real customers. So we don't have to go out at in the market and see where the real customer is. That data is sitting with us. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Surveys. So you would have observed in the past week or something, I have been sending some surveys in the group. Those may or may not be relevant. But when I'm sending out a survey, there are people who are responding. These are the people who are engaged with us. So this may include those people who don't buy from me, but they are engaged with me. So Khurana Sahab, does this give your answer?
Yes, partially.
So these are those people who refer me to somebody else, even though they are not my customers. So they will not be visible in this data.
Yes.
But they will be visible here. Clear? Third one is personal interview. So some of our higher engagement customers, we must meet them in person. And only 5 questions. What is working? What is not working? How? What can you rely on us for? What can you not rely on us for? Any more suggestions for us? One, this will open up new things for us. This will also deepen the confidence the customer has in us. Does that make sense?
Yes, perfect.
And we can also have brainstorming sessions with them. So this could be a group setting, wherein we could ask things like, why are you with us? Why don't you go to the competition? Or how much of competition do you consume? They will also give us some ideas who else can be our probable customers. So like that lassi wala case, we may guess some more use cases for our services. Then is observation. Typically in retail, you go and stand in the retail counter and observe how your customer is behaving. Listen to what are they asking for, and listen to how they are engaging with your competition. Listen to their mannerisms. This is how you will be able to identify your real audience. So scan historical data, surveys, interviews, brainstorming, observation. Is this something which is useful? If yes, write in the chat box, useful.
Yeah, each one of them.
Every single point is useful. There is no doubt about it.
Anything you want to add to this, sir?
Sir, I would rather ask a question once you finish the point of identifying real question.
So this is the last one now. So now we'll move to the next piece.
My question is, suppose if there is a startup who doesn't have any history of selling anything to anybody, how do they identify and reach out to their real audience?
Perfect. So they have a certain assumption, right?
Yeah.
So if they have certain assumption, they would have certain view of their probable customer.
Yes, sure.
Right? So then they identify those customers and have interviews with them. The questions could be different. But in that interview, they will get to know that if I want to serve this kind of a customer, what is it that I will have to offer?
Okay.
So I'll give you a case of, I think 1992 or 93. This was in Mumbai. Mercedes was supposed to launch a new model. At that time, I think the E220, the first model in India, was still not launched. They were about to launch that. So what they did was they invited a select few people to Nehru Planetarium, Nehru Center there. And they treated these people well and they asked them questions. Why would they buy a car? What are they looking in the car? How much would they pay for it? Jing bang, all that stuff. And then after taking them through a great experience, they let them go and they used all these inputs to launch Mercedes-Benz in India. Does that make sense? Does that give the answer to your question, Kurana Sahab?
Partially, sir.
Okay, so what is not answered?
Suppose there is a doctor, how does he reach out to his patients or new patients or what? Or
Right.
a hospital. I'm not talking about a doctor. I'm talking about say a hospital. How do they identify their customers? How do they reach out? Otherwise, general advertising or general press conference or whatever. These are the general tools. Are there some specific tools to identify people?
So typically a hospital, so let us say there is this chain called Cloud9. So Cloud9, they are known for these gynec services and for childbirth and these kind of services. So they choose to remain in that space.
Yeah.
So they've created the entire ambience for mothers to be. Right? So
Yeah.
that their structure or look and feel is not something which would be like a surgery kind of a hospital. Tata Cancer Hospital in Bombay, that would have a different exposure altogether vis-a-vis Cloud9. So here they have identified that this is the kind of audience they want to go after. And for those audience, they could speak to a few mothers who are expecting or those who are already mothers, asking them what were their experiences, what would they have wanted to have been better, and then put all that together. Does that make sense?
Yes, sure.
Do we move further?
Yes, please. Sure.
All right.
So I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So, for example, if a person is constructing a house and giving it for sale, or suppose he's constructed a house and he's giving it for rent, so the target customer is everybody. But if a person has already taken a house for rent, then we have lost that customer. So we will get the next customer in after some time. When so in this case, how do we
So
get
Ajish, where are you based?
Bangalore,
Which area of Bangalore?
JP Nagar South?
JP Nagar South, right?
Hmm.
So there are 8 billion people on this planet.
Yeah,
If you have a house in JP Nagar South and
Yeah.
you want to rent it out,
yeah.
are these 8 billion people your customers?
Sometimes what happens, that person will be in US and he'll be looking for his parents in South Bangalore. So that person is the decider.
Is he, does that make it 8 billion people?
No,
A Latino in Brazil, is she your customer?
no.
Right?
No.
So you would have your customers, the 90% probability are people who are operating in 5 to 10 kilometers of JP Nagar South.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
and many of them would be people who are employed there with the companies which are in that space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let us say there is an IBM, an Infosys, a BHEL in the vicinity.
Yeah.
So they would be your probable customers, isn't it?
Yeah, but what happens is like the customer, suppose a person is in Delhi, he's coming to JP in Bangalore.
So do you want to have the easier route, or what is the probability of person who is in Bangalore to take it vis-a-vis a person who's coming from Delhi? And second, even if he's coming from Delhi, let us say he's an employee in IBM.
Mm.
For the first 7 days, IBM gives him hotel accommodation.
Yeah, yeah.
And in IBM, there is an admin team or there is a board where the properties for rent are written.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in that case, there is a person from Delhi who's coming to IBM, and he's likely to take your property, right? Second,
Yeah,
if he's working in IBM, he is from Delhi, he will, before coming to Bangalore, he will be in touch with the admin team over there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then through the admin person, you are reaching out to the person in Delhi.
Yeah, okay.
Let me just ask you another question. If you were to put an ad on Google, which covers all the pin codes in India, do you know how many crores would you cough up in 1 hour?
No, I don't know.
It will be a few crores.
Oh, okay.
Would you want to do that?
No, no, no.
Would you want to burn your property in 1 hour?
No, no, no.
So choice is yours. You take the easier route, the logical route, or go on a wild goose chase and continue researching.
Could you please repeat the last point?
I said, choice is yours. You take an easier route,
yeah,
or go on a wild goose chase and keep on researching.
Okay, okay.
Because somebody who's there from Connecticut and who's looking for people for a house for his parents in Bangalore, one, he would have contacts in Bangalore.
Okay, okay.
And it is those contacts which will tell that JP Nagar South, East West Road, on this the 5th bungalow that has enough sunlight during the day and it is walkable from the nearest marketplace. It also has a park next to it. That is why that is acceptable.
Okay,
so this person, he will not take your house from Connecticut right away.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So different applications would have different kind of reach out practices.
Okay, okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So how to attract our real audience? 7 tips. The first one is make them laugh and take their money. Have you ever worked with a company which is very serious and makes, if not difficult, at least very heavy conversations with you? Do you want to work with them?
Occasionally.
Okay. And most of the times?
Naturally, that pleases us.
Right? So make them laugh and take their money.
Yeah.
Second piece is get into their heart. How would you get into their heart? You observe what is the kind of job they want to get done. You observe what are the kind of pain points they have. You observe what is something good for them, means what they feel good. You try to get what is there in their mind. And you try to see what is their commitment. So this person who's there in Connecticut and he's looking for his parents, for a house for their parents in Bangalore, his commitment is that his parents should live a reasonable life. Ajish, this is for you. So if you get that commitment and you are serving that commitment, then you will be able to sell your house to him. Clear?
Yeah, thank you.
So, and once you are into the commitment, then you get to know what is going on in their heart. So get into the heart of your audience. Does that make sense? Third is be the balm, not the scar. So be empathetic with your audience. So whatsoever they are going through, leave them better than they were when they start a conversation with you. Does this make sense?
राहुल जी के जाओगे ना हैं?
Next is do the real job. So when the customer says that they want an X thing done, that is not it. That real job has an emotional part to it. It has a functional part to it. There are hidden fears which need to be overcome. That makes the complete job. Does that make sense? So do the real job for them. That is how you would attract the real audience. Remove the pain points. So this person who's sitting in Connecticut or the person who's sitting in Delhi and he's moving to Bangalore, for him it's a real pain to look for a house. So how can you reduce the pain for him? And create gains, happiness for them. So I started with make them laugh and take their money. So make them satisfied. They should feel good about being with you. That is how you'll attract them. And this one is very important. Have you heard of design thinking process? Hello?
Yes, sir.
And have you implemented it?
No.
All right. So design thinking is the process generally used for creating new products or services. There are 5 steps to it. The first piece is empathize. So once we've identified our real customers or real audience, we empathize with them. We get into their skin through interviews, shadowing them, observing them, and seek to understand what are their requirements without being judgmental. And then based on this observation, we define what is the solution for them. So define, first we generalize the persona of the real audience. What is it that they need? What are the kind of decisions they take? What are the kind of challenges they have? What are the kind of pain points they have? This is what I spoke about, right? So this is what helps you define your offering for them. And then once you've got the raw data over here, then you ideate. How would you serve them? Once you've ideated, then you create a prototype and take it to your real audience. And then let them consume, again observe, and then test. So this is how you would attract your real audience. Does this make sense? Design thinking was a paper which was presented at Stanford Design School in 1960s.
So,
All right.
So in this, like before the prototype is made, we just we get the problem defined, ideate, and get the feedback. Then after the feedback, make the product.
No, feedback is after the testing piece.
Okay.
Ideation is your internal process.
Okay.
So how to attract them? इनकार से इकरार तक